the last class, we discussed about the mineral nutrition, its importance, and what are the essential elements which required to plants. In the previous class, we discussed about the micronutrients. So the plants needed 16 number of essential elements which are prescribed in our syllabus. In the previous class, we completed the macronutrients. So today's our topic is the micronutrients, and one more small topic I discussed here is the deficiency of nutrients. What is the result of the deficiency in plants? Okay, see here, the elements present in the soil in several chemical forms. These elements can be dissolved in soil solution ions, and they may be bound in insoluble forms as elements changed their form in soils. So a dynamic equilibrium exists that shifts according to the soil condition, including concentration of different ions. So pH and aeration of the soil is very important while the absorption of minerals. Okay, so today's our topic is the micronutrients. You know, the plants are needed this micronutrients in small amounts. Okay, so these elements are also called as the trace elements. The important micronutrients which required to the plants are boron, chlorine, manganese, iron, nickel, copper, zinc, and molybdenum. So these are the important essential elements, and in our syllabus 7 essential elements are prescribed. So we discussed that here. So the micronutrients are the elements essential for the plant growth, which are needed in only very small amount. Just now I told you. So the micro elements are the essential elements which are required to the plants in very small amount or little amount. Okay, these micro elements are also called as the trace elements. I already gave the list of the micro elements, that is the manganese, iron, boron, copper, zinc, molybdenum, and chlorine. These are the important elements which are given in our syllabus. Okay, so the first one is the boron. So the boron is very important. It contains the 0.002% of the dry weight of the plant tissues, and it is absorbed in the form of H2BO3. It is necessary for the formation of cell wall membrane integrity. Okay, see here in this slide, the boron is very important in the formation of the cell wall, like middle lamella in between the primary and the secondary cell wall, and also in the formation of the pectin, cellulose, and microfibrils. One more is the microtubules like hemicellulose and soluble proteins. They are observed as a soluble proteins. Okay, so next, what are the functions when you see the detailed function of the boron? The boron translocation it translocates the sugars, and the deficiency, if the boron is deficient to the plant, it will results the death of meristems and abortion of flowers. Okay, so it is also very important for the growing regions of the plant and also for the reproductive parts of the flowers. Okay, the deficiency of the boron results the death of the meristems and abortion of flowers. Next one is the chlorine. So chlorine required, or it has the 0.01% of the dry weight of the plant tissue. It contains the 0.01% of dry weight of plant tissue, and when you see, it is involved in osmosis, that is the movement of water or solute in cells. Once again I will tell you, it involves in osmosis, that is the movement of water or solutes in cells. You know the osmosis in the last classes we studied, that is the osmosis is nothing but the translocation of organic solutes from higher concentration to the lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So here the chlorine it involves in osmosis, that is the movement of water or solutes in cells. Okay, so when you see the function, it stimulates split of water during photosynthesis. It is essential for cell division. And two more important functions are, it stimulate split the during the process of photosynthesis. All of you know, during the formation of the carbohydrates from the inorganic components like carbon dioxide and water, at the end of the reaction there is the water molecule is present. That means it will be released. It is due to the presence of chlorine, or the function of the chlorine. The chlorine is making or stimulate the water split during the photosynthesis. And not only that, it is also essential for the cell division. You know what are the cell divisions occurs in organisms, mostly in plants, mitosis and meiotic cell division. So chlorine also involving in cell divisions. Okay, so when this is about the functions, and when we see the deficiency, it results a wilting of chlorotic and necrotic spots. In the in this lesson, we shall discuss about the what is chlorosis and necrosis. Okay, so it results the wilting, chlorotic and necrotic spots appears on the leaves. And not only that, the leaves appear bronze color, and the roots shows the stunted growth. Okay, next one is a manganese. Manganese is very important, and it contains the 0.005% of the dry weight of the plant tissues. And mostly the manganese is in the form of Mn2 plus. When you see, it plays a crucial role in enzyme activity for photosynthesis, respiration and nitrogen metabolism. Okay, manganese is very important in the important metabolic and life process of plant. Just we see the functions. It is the activator of enzymes of respiration, that is the oxidases, peroxidases, and also necessary for chlorophyll formation. Just now I told you it is important in photosynthesis and respiration. Respiration is like that in the that is the activation of the oxidases and peroxidases in the respiration. And also it is useful in the formation of the chlorophyll in photosynthesis. Okay, and photolysis of water in nitrogen metabolism. Okay, these are the important functions of the manganese. And when you see the deficiency, it results the chlorosis and necrotic spots on the leaves. Okay, clear now? Next one is the iron. Next micronutrient is the iron. So the iron having the 0.01% of the dry weight of the plant tissue, and it is in the form of Fe plus and Fe2 plus ions. That means the plants absorb the iron in the form of ferrous and ferric ions, that is Fe plus and Fe2 plus. When you see the functions, it is absorbed by the plant in the form of ferric ions. It is necessary for many enzyme functions and act as a catalyst for the synthesis of chlorophyll. And not only that, it constitutes of ferredoxin, cytochrome, catalases, peroxidases and leg hemoglobin. That means the formation of root nodules in the nitrogen fixation of leg hemoglobin is developed. Next, the chlorophyll synthesis and electron transport. It also involving in the electron transport. Okay. Next one is the copper. Copper is present in roots and play role in nitrogen metabolism. It is a component of enzymes that used by the carbohydrates and the proteins, and it contains the 0.006% of the dry weight of the plant tissues. And if the copper is excess, toxic to plants. Okay, mostly the copper is absorbed in the form of Cu2 plus ions. Okay, so when you see the functions, it constitution of enzymes, ascorbic acid, cytochrome, oxidase, tyrosinase and plastoquinine. So the activation of these enzymes are very important due to the presence of copper. And when you see the deficiency results the yellowing of leaf tip. So the leaves are the margins and the tip of the leaf is turned to yellow in color. Okay, so next one is the zinc. Okay, zinc, it is essential to carbohydrates metabolism, and not only that, it also helpful in the internodal elongation of the plants, and it involving in the protein synthesis. And zinc contains the 0.002% of the dry weight of the plant tissues, and it is the, when you see the functions, it is the activator of enzymes, alcohol dehydrogenase, essential for tryptophan, that is the precursor of auxin. Okay, and just now I told you it also helpful in the internodal elongation of the stem and involving in the protein synthesis, and also useful in the essential of the carbohydrate metabolism. Okay, when you see the deficiency, the leaf margin and tip chlorosis, leaf size is reduced, and the plant shows the stunted growth. Okay, clear now? Next one is the see here, zinc. It is essential element that can act on enzymes, either activate them or inhibit them. So the zinc also has the power to activate and inhibit the enzyme. Example, Zn2 plus is an activator of alcohol dehydrogenase. Okay, next one is the molybdenum, last one, and this is it is used to reduces the nitrates to ammonia. Without molybdenum, protein synthesis is blocked and plant growth ceases. So the molybdenum is very, very important. It is present richest, that means it is rich presentation in legumes. So the legumes contains large amount of molybdenum. Legumes means, you know, the pulses, Fabaceae family contains the large amount of molybdenum, and the plants contains the 0.0001% of the dry weight of the plant tissues. When you see the function, component of nitrate reductase and a nitrogen fixation. When you see the deficiency, curling of leaves, failure of nodulation in legumes, and not only that, interveinal chlorosis in older leaves. Okay, clear now? So next we discussed about the what are the deficiency symptoms by the absorption of minerals decreases to the plants. What are the result of the growth and development of the plant, just to be see it. So when the plants lack the when the plants take the required quantities of one or more essential elements, then plant shows poor growth and develop specific deficiency symptoms. Okay, the morphological changes in plants due to deficiency of elements are called deficiency symptoms. Okay, so the deficiency of the elements can be results the morphological deficiency of the plant, either stunted growth or yellowing of leaves, interveinal chlorosis, or necrotic spots observed on the leaves, and stunted growth of the roots and stem, falling of the flowers and fruits, and there is the abortion of the birds and flowers, etc. These are the morphological symptoms which are observed due to the deficiency of these minerals. Just let us we see the one by one, the few examples I tell you. Important one, that is the important deficiency symptoms are the chlorosis. So this is about the abnormal condition of the green plants in which the stems and leaves turn pale green or yellow in color. The yellowing is due to the reduction in the levels of the green chlorophyll pigments. It may be caused by a number of factors. The deficiency of magnesium, iron or manganese is a common cause. So let us see, now only we discussed about the importance of these micronutrients, and in the previous classes we discussed the macronutrients. So if any element is deficient, so it will be result on the morphological development of the plant. If for example the leaves turn to green to yellow in color, there is the reduction of chlorophyll molecules in the leaves due to the deficiency of the any one of these elements like magnesium, iron or manganese. Just to see, observed in the slide, the yellowing of the leaf, so which are observed on the plant. See the normal leaf and as well as the chlorotic leaf. Clear no? Next one. This is the necrosis. It is the localized death of the tissue of leaves. The death of tissues may spread to the entire leaf. The deficiency of calcium results in necrosis of young meristematic regions such as root tips or young leaves. So see here, in the macronutrient like calcium deficiency results the necrotic appearance of the leaves. The entire leaf may turn to reddish in color. And not only this calcium, also we just now we discussed the important role of the micronutrients. If the chlorine and manganese and zinc etc., these elements deficiency also results the necrotic spots on the leaves. Okay, next one. This is about the stunted growth of the plant. The growth is retarded. The stems appear condensed and short. The deficiency of calcium results in stunted growth. Not only that, the chlorine and zinc, molybdenum and this iron also shows the stunted growth of the plant. Okay, clear no? Next is the dieback of shoot. Here the dieback is nothing but the depth of the stem or branches of woody or herbaceous plants. It is starting from the apex and proceeding downwards. So first this dieback disease is started at the tip of the plant and it will be fallen to the downward direction of the plant. That means it will be enter into the entire part of the plant. That means apex and proceeding downward slowly or quickly due to the copper deficiency. So the copper deficiency results the dieback of the plant branches and the stem. Okay. Next one is the boron toxicity. A fair increase or decrease in the amount of micronutrient required by the plant cause toxicity. The symptoms of toxicity are difficult to identify. The toxicity levels of one element differ with different plant species. If one element is in excess, then it may inhibit the uptake of another element. So one more important side effect, no? So what will be happen if the one element amount is increased in the plant, so the plant cannot absorb the required another element. So it will result the toxicity. That means the increasing of the first element is carrying on. It will result the toxic to the plant. Okay, clear now? So next. A fair increase, just now we discussed, for example, the excess of manganese may cause deficiency of iron, magnesium and calcium. So I told you, no, if the one element excess is increased, it will inhibit the uptake or intake of another elements, like if the manganese is increased in the plant absorption, so what will be happen, it inhibit the uptake of iron and magnesium and calcium. Okay, this is toxic to the plant. Just you observe in this slide the boron toxicity as well as the manganese toxicity. The boron toxicity results the reddishness of the margins of the leaf, and here the manganese toxicity results the yellowing of the interveinal structures of the leaf. Okay. Next, summary of the topic. Just now we discussed about the important categories of elements, macro and micro. In this lesson I focused on the micronutrients and their deficiency symptoms, and the nutrients which are present in the tissues of plant in high amount is called as a macronutrient. The elements needed in low amount are called micronutrients. Abnormal conditions of green plants in which the stems and leaves are turned pale or yellow in color is called as a chlorosis. Not only that, the plants also shows the necrotic spots, stunted growth, and localized death of tissues of leaves is called necrosis, and stunted growth of leaves and roots. And not only that, the plants also shed the leaves as well as the flowers due to the excess or decrease of these elements. Okay, clear now? Now I will conclude the lesson. It is clear to you all. Okay, so I will stop here. Thank you.